Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter. With us now on the phone is Trump Organization President and Chairman Donald Trump. His top-rated Celebrity Apprentice has just been renewed by NBC. And Rob Reports just named Trump Scotland the best course in the world. And Mr. Trump, congratulations on such a terrific honor.
Well, thank you very much. That was a great honor from the Rob Report. They really, it's a great magazine, and they came out and named us the best course, and that was incredible for the people of Scotland.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Governor Christie has a big decision to make soon about picking the replacement for Senator Lautenberg. You think he should pick a Republican, and who would be your choice?
Well, I do think he should take a Republican, and I knew Senator Lautenberg very well. And I actually had a very good relationship with him. I do think that he should pick, however, a Republican. And I think in terms of a choice, I think a really wise choice, and I believe he'll make one regardless, would be Tom Kean. Mm-hmm. Tom Kean was a terrific governor. People really liked him. Everybody respected him. And I think he'd be a wise choice.
Do you think if there is a special election in 2014 that former Governor Kean could defeat the likely Democratic nominee, Cory Booker?
Well, I don't know that he'd even run. I mean, part of it would be that he perhaps wouldn't run. I'm not sure about that. But at least on an interim basis, I think it would be a really popular choice because he's so respected by everybody. Mm-hmm. As to what he does from there, as to whether or not he wants to run, I don't know. I think Cory Booker will be a tremendous candidate for the Democrats, and I think he is never easy to beat. Mm-hmm. But Tom Kean, as an initial choice, I think would be a great one.
Yeah, and how come? I mean, why do you think he would be a great choice?
Well, he's respected by everybody, and that means Democrat and Republican and everybody else. He's liked and respected, which is a rare combination. So, he really was considered an excellent governor when he ran New Jersey, and so that will be the Governor Christie's choice, but let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Now, there have been some other candidates mentioned as well, former Governor Christie Whitman and Geraldo. What's your take on their possibilities?
Well, I know Geraldo. I've done a show many times. I didn't know Geraldo was in it, but no, my preference in terms of what would be really good and well thought of would be former Governor Tom Kean.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's turn to the IRS scandal surrounding the Obama presidency real quickly. House Oversight Committee Chairman Darrell Issa has said the IRS agents who targeted conservative groups had been following orders from the Obama administration. Now, President Obama says he knew nothing about this. Do you think the scandal goes that high up?
Well, it's a mess. There's no question about it, and it's something that I guess they wish they weren't involved in. I've never seen one resonate like this with respect to President Obama. Benghazi is a disaster, and a great man and great people were killed, and wonderful people from everything I've seen, and they were just brutally killed by disgusting people. And frankly, the biggest problem with Benghazi, aside from the obvious, was that they didn't go, and I didn't see any retribution. They know who these people were that did the act, and we haven't gone in and gotten them, and we should. And I believe they know who did it. So but it has never amazingly resonated. The AP scandal probably resonated more with the liberal press than any of the three, but the IRS is the one that seems to be resonating. Mm-hmm. And it is a tough situation that I think the president has found himself in. Mm-hmm.
And we've seen a lot of highly questionable conduct from the administration. Fast and Furious, failed stimulus money awarded to campaign donors, Benghazi, the AP data seizure, and the IRS scandal. But so far, the president has remained intentionally or unintentionally largely isolated. What do you make of this?
Well, he is isolated, and maybe he's well off being that. But, very rarely do you see a circumstance where you have three for the price of one. You have three scandals going on, and I can't ever remember anything like this. But, I think in terms of the public, the one that they seem to be most interested in, amazingly that, the Benghazi has never taken off like I think it should have. But the one the public seems to be focused on is IRS. And when I hear that the head of the IRS was in the White House 161 times, it's a little bit hard to explain, I would think, when your Secretary of State and your Secretary of Defense were there very seldom, very little, and certainly very little by comparison. So, I'm sure they're going to have answers, and hopefully they'll be good answers. We'll see what happens.
What's your assessment of the GOP-led investigation into the IRS scandal, Benghazi, and so on? Have they been aggressive enough, and do you see these scandals helping the GOP in 2016 and 2014?
Well, I don't know if it helps. I mean, the most important thing is bad for the country. I don't know what helps. It's a very bad thing for the country, what's going on. I think the GOP is doing fine. I mean, they're looking into something that could be potentially devastating for the country, but we'll find out what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks you'll have a lot of answers. What
do these scandals tell us about President Obama and his leadership of this nation?
Well, first of all, you have to find out, what's going on and whether or not it's real and whether or not he knew something, at least in terms of a couple of them, whether or not he knew about the IRS and about the people that they went after. I mean, it could be that he didn't, but it could also be that he did. Mm-hmm. So I think, honestly, the next short period of time, a lot of things will come out. I guess a lot of people want to know about 161 visits to the White House by the head of the IRS. What does that represent? What does that mean? What could have been spoken about so often and so much, that a man would be there so often? I guess in other administrations, the head of the IRS virtually never went to the White House. So, why did that take place? So there are a lot of questions that have to be answered, and the end result is we're going to be learning fairly soon. I think it's going to be very hard to cover up. I think they're better off being 100% out front and honest, and hopefully they have good answers. I would like to have them have good answers.
Let's turn real quickly to China. You've been critical of U.S.-China policies, with Chinese companies stepping up their acquisitions in the U.S. market and economic and national security intrusions of U.S. military and business targets. What advice do you have for Barack Obama in advance of his first summit with new Chinese President Xi Jinping later this week in California?
Well, the president's going to have to get tough with China because they're really eating our lunch. What China's been doing to us over the years, and I've been speaking about this, I guess it's been my pet subject. I've been speaking about this for a long period of time, and it's resonated with a lot of people, and that's why my polls have been always so strong. And I think, it's not because they like Donald Trump. In fact, probably some of them don't like Donald Trump, although I like to think of myself as a nice person. But they do like what I say about something that's obvious. China and other countries, the OPEC nations and plenty of others, they're just taking advantage of the United States. And one thing that came out really very interesting, and it came out very strongly on the front page of the New York Times, of all places, was that China is in Iraq taking a vast majority of the oil. We have spent $1.5 trillion in Iraq on a ridiculous situation which, by the way, Iraq is absolutely blowing up around us. It's just a mess. There's no country there. But China's in there taking the oil. We spent $1.5 trillion and thousands of lives, and we left, and we want nothing to do with it. And China is in there taking the oil. And if you remember, and I think everyone remembers, because I always took a lot of heat, 3 or 4 years ago, I used to say, why are we not taking the oil? Why are we're just leaving it? And I said for Iran, which, by the way, is already in there also, and they're going to take over the country eventually. Mm-hmm. But I said, why are we not taking the oil? And people said, that's such a terrible thing to say. Well, we spent trillions of dollars, thousands of lives, and China is in taking over the oil. And despite the fact that they've got a majority of it already, they're now going to outbid ExxonMobil and take their big slice of it. So this is an American company, but they're going to now outbid ExxonMobil. So it's incredible. Mm-hmm. When I see these things, it to me is incredible.
Mr. Trump, Dish TV Network has filed suit against Japan's SoftBank's bid for Sprint, the third largest telecommunications carrier in the nation. Dish alleges that SoftBank has close financial and other ties with Huawei, a Chinese firm that the U.S. government says has been targeting the U.S. for cyber attacks. Now, a number of conservatives say that we should not open up a significant portion of our telecommunications network to a company with such ties. Is this something you're concerned about, and should Congress question this transaction?
Well, I can see what the conservatives, of which I happen to be one of them, are saying exactly. And, we are open warfare for China. They're taking our secrets. They're taking our business secrets and our military secrets. And believe me, they will be manufacturing what they're stealing. So the president is going to have some very, very tough talks, because we cannot allow this to continue to happen, whether it's business, whether it's what's going on in other places, whether it's the fact that they manufacture our goods. we've got to stop it. And it wouldn't be tough to stop, believe me.
Turning to 2016 real quickly, can you update us on whether the reports are true that you're considering a presidential run in 2016?
Well, I look at the country, and the country's in such serious trouble. The manufacturing report that just came out today, to me, is one of the most important reports that you can have in an economic sense, because it shows our manufacturing is doing terribly. And again, this isn't healthcare. This isn't anything other than like making product. And our manufacturing report is really bad. That was, to me, one of the bad reports that I've seen over the last number of months. And a lot of people don't put as much weight as I do, but I think just from a common sense standpoint, it means so much. No, I look at things and I'll see what happens. I'm a Republican. I'm a very conservative person. I would like to see things happen good for this country. I'll be watching, and we'll see what happens.
Now, it's been said that the Democratic presidential nomination is Hillary Clinton's if she wants it. Do you really see Hillary getting the nomination? Oh,
I think so, absolutely. Benghazi has not resonated, and I think that was a problem for her, but it just doesn't seem to be going there. And frankly, I think, assuming good health, I know Hillary very well, I know Bill very well, assuming good health, and I hope she does remain healthy, but I think she will have the nomination very easily, unless something happens that would be unforeseen. I would imagine she'd have the nomination. I don't think she'd be easy to beat, and frankly, the Republicans are going to have to do a really good job of nominating somebody who is very good and very smart and very sharp, because if they don't, it's going to be another 8 years of a Democratic president.
Last question for you, Mr. Trump, is on a separate issue. Federal Reserve officials indicated they might slow down quantitative easing sometime in mid-2013. What do you see happening when the Fed finally begins to pull back the punch bowl, as they say on Wall Street?
Well, that's the big secret. I mean, we'll see what happens. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but it's been artificial. It's been a lot of things are going on now that some people don't like, and a lot of people don't like, in terms of the dollar, in terms of valuation, in terms of lots of different things. Now they're going to be starting to pull back, and let's see what happens. We'll be on a free ride and maybe a free fall. Nobody knows. Maybe it'll be a great thing, and maybe it'll be a bad thing. We'll have to see.
All right, we'll have to see. Mr. Donald Trump, as always, good to speak with you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.